All right, hello. We are live. I'm doing this with the live studio audience this time. All right, this is notes 3.5 called slopes of lines. And here's some definitions that you should already be familiar with from algebra. The first one is rise. That word rise, it says the rise is the difference in the y values. So rise is associated with y values of 2 points on a line. The next one says run. The run is the difference in the x values. So run and x values go together of 2 points on a line. Well, the next one's the most important one, the slope. It reads the slope of a line is the ratio of the rise to run. If x1, y1 and x2, y2 are any 2 points on a line, then the slope of the line is, and you need to know this formula. That is called the slope formula. And I'm going to make that our secret word for this video. Slope formula. If you would, at the bottom of your PowerPoint here, bottom of your notes, write those 2 words. Slope formula. That is your secret word. On the next slide, it says, use the slope formula to determine the slope of each line. I just want to do line AB. If you see AB, I'm going to go to blue here. This point right there looks like it's -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That point is -2, 7. I'm going to pick another point, point B. The ordered pair there looks like it's going to be 3, 7. So given those 2, technical difficulties here. Hold on a minute. This has never happened before. Okay, I think we're good to go now. Using those 2 ordered pairs, I want to plug them into my slope formula, which is the second y minus the first y over the second x minus the first x. So the numbers would be y minus y would be that 7 minus that 7 over that 3 minus that -2. So I write it 3 minus -2. That's 0 over 5. Remember, the 5 comes from 2 negatives in a row, make a positive, and that simplifies to just 0. Which means the slope of this line is 0. The next slide. You need to know positive slope. This is positive slope. It goes uphill. Negative slope goes downhill. A 0 slope, that was what we just found in the previous slide. It's flat. Spelled that wrong. Spelled it wrong again. I can't write today. The studio audience is making me nervous. Flat. And then the undefined, think of like a wall. It goes straight up and down. Next thing, a couple theorems here. 351, the parallel lines theorem. It says, in a coordinate plane, if two non-vertical lines are parallel, two non-vertical lines are parallel if and only if they have the same slope. Any 2 vertical lines are parallel. So just remember, parallel lines have the same slope. The next one's on perpendicular. In the coordinate plane, 2 non-vertical lines are perpendicular if and only if the product of their slopes is -1. Vertical and horizontal lines are always perpendicular. On the next slide, talk more about that. If a line has a slope of a over b, then the slope of a perpendicular line is -b over a. And if I multiply those, a over b times -b over a, that equals -1. In other words, I'll give you an example with numbers. 2 over 5 and -5 over 2. If you multiply those, they equal -1. Let's do another one. 4 and -1/4. If you multiply those, it makes -1. How about 1/2 and -2 over 1? Multiply those and you get -1. That's the slopes of perpendicular lines. Last slide. I'm sorry. Those are called opposite reciprocals. Those are called opposite reciprocals. Last slide. Graph each pair of lines. Each pair of lines, and I have them on here. Use their slopes to determine whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, let's find the slope of UV. And UV, I'm going to use that point and that point. So the slope of UB would be y minus y over x minus x. Again, y minus y over x minus x. That would be a -3 over -1, which is +3. So the slope of UV is 3. Let's now find the slope of xy. Now I'm going to use that point and that point. So the slope there would be 3 minus 1 over -3 minus 3. And that would be a 2 over -6, which is a -1/3. And if you look at those two answers, 3 and -1/3, realize they are opposite reciprocals of each other. That means those two lines, since they are opposite reciprocals, are perpendicular. So my answer is that word right there, perpendicular. If they would happen to come out the same, like the first one I get 3 and the second one I also get a 3, my answer would not be perpendicular, it'd be parallel. All right, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.